Thank you, Chair, and good evening, Commissioners. I am Michael Roque, Senior Contract Planner with Rincon Consultants, working as an extension of the City of Oxnard Planning Division staff. The project being presented before you tonight is for planning and zoning permit number 22-550-01 for a new Dunkin' Donuts major modification to a special use permit located at 2151 East Gonzales Road. The applicant is requesting a major modification to special use permit number 00-05-142 to allow for the tenant improvement of an existing 30,467 square foot CBC credit union multi-tenant office building. The proposed project includes the construction and conversion of 1,419 square feet of existing ground floor tenant space into a donut coffee shop and the conversion of one existing drive-through lane with 8 vehicle capacity, allowing stacking for 3 vehicles between the order board and pickup window and stacking for 5 vehicles behind the order board, and is also requesting a reduction to the number of on-site parking spaces from 151 to 129. The project site is located at 2151 East Gonzales Road and is currently developed with an existing multi-tenant office building that includes a ground floor credit union and upper floor general and medical office space. As seen in the existing street view of the project site, the southwest view from Outlet Center Drive shows the east side of the project site, and the view from Gonzales Road looking north shows the existing office building. As seen in the aerial view of the project site, the site is surrounded by medical office uses to the north, south, and west, and to the east is a 7-Eleven self-service station and convenience store. The subject site has both a general plan land use and zoning designation of Business Research Park, which allows for professional, administrative, research, and limited manufacturing uses, along with other commercial activities intended to support such uses as fast food establishments. The following provides some background on the project site. On May 3rd, 2001, the Planning Commission approved special use permit number 00-5-142 and adopted a mitigated negative declaration number 01-09 for the construction of a 30,467 square foot building for bank and office uses. To date, there have been no changes to the original development. The 2.45 acre site is located on the northwest corner of Gonzales Road and Outlet Center Drive. The CBC Federal Credit Union office building is a 30,467 square foot multi-tenant office building that is comprised of a ground floor credit union and general and medical office space with 129 on-site parking spaces, including 16 drive-through spaces in 2 lanes situated behind the building at the north end of the site. The project will be converting the closest drive-through lane with 8 vehicle capacity. The proposed project includes the construction and conversion of 1,419 square feet of existing ground floor tenant space, which includes 524 square feet of shared lobby space into the Dunkin' Donut coffee shop. Most of the project scope is located within the existing tenant space and consists of tenant improvement changes only, with minimal exterior changes proposed on the north building elevation. These exterior changes include the installation of a new freestanding menu order board, new mechanical grills on the facade of the building, and a new order pickup window. All proposed material will be painted to match the existing building or be similar in design. Consistency with the 2030 general plan is defined by the relationship between the 2030 general plan policies and the proposed project. Many policies are directly or indirectly applicable to the proposed project. Some of these key policies are Community Development Policy 1.2, and that it's a new infill development project. Policy 4.2, a commercial revitalization and redevelopment project. Policy 5.2 is a compatible land use. Policy 15.6 increases the share of reasonable taxable sales. Policy 18.1, which intends to attract new businesses to the city. As noted earlier, the project is located within the Business Research Park zone and would generally conform to the applicable BRP development standards outlined in the Oxnard City Code, except for the required off-street parking in which the applicant is seeking a reduction to the number of on-site parking spaces. A parking study provided as attachment D of the staff report was completed to evaluate and determine the appropriate amount of required parking for the project. The parking study developed shared parking demand estimates based on hourly parking demand surveys conducted at the site and hourly parking demand rates presented in the ITE parking manual. The parking data and breakdown in the table shows that the Oxnard City Code requires 151 spaces for the overall project site based on the existing tenant spaces and land uses. Based on the study, the project is required to provide a total of 100 spaces. The on-site parking supply of 129 spaces would meet both the shared weekday and weekend parking demand by providing an ample amount of reserved parking supply. The project meets the city requirements and provides stacking for 8 vehicles. Per the queue studies submitted by the applicant at 3 different Dunkin' Donut locations, the maximum queues range from 5 to 7 vehicles. Therefore, the 8 vehicle stacking area proposed would accommodate the actual queues. Additionally, a drive-through queue management plan was provided as attachment E of the staff report. The plan provides passive and active strategies, including signing and striping at the drive-through entrance, along with directional site signage and the use of handheld mobile devices by Dunkin' Donut staff to take customer orders. In accordance with the California Environmental Quality Act, an environmental consultant under the supervision of the Planning Division staff prepared an addendum to the underlying MND number 01-09. The addendum did not identify any areas of concern as potentially being affected, and the project would not create new significant environmental effects as previously identified in the 2001 final ISMND. As part of the project's approval and provided as attachment F of the staff report, the following select conditions of approval include a developer pay contribution into the city's transportation demand management program. A drive-through speaker box shall use automatic volume control. A final drive-through queue management plan shall be submitted prior to building permit issuance. And the developer shall comply and implement the recommendations described in the parking study. As required, the project was noticed in the newspaper, on-site posting, and mailed to property owners within 300 feet, and as to date, no public comment was submitted. Staff recommends that the Planning Commission adopt an addendum to MND number 01-09 and adopt a resolution approving planning and zoning permit number 22-550-01, major modification to a special use permit, subject to certain findings and conditions. This will conclude staff's presentation. Thank you.